Hello, I'm Mark Chalero, the owner of MS Classic Cars. Today, I'm presenting an outstanding 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302 that is highly coveted with its magnitude of prestigious awards. To start off this presentation here, this is a non-rehearsed video. I'm going to be referencing some notes on this vehicle. It's to go over as much of it as I possibly can, but I want to make sure that you visit our website at msclassiccars.com to reference the complete description with tons of highly detailed photos. We really go above and beyond with our photography so you can see as much of the car as possible. And of course, we present this video here today. Before I get into the presentation, I also want to mention that I create these new binders for every vehicle. I put all of the information that pertains to the vehicle in these binders. Normally, at this point in the video, I would go on record and say we only collect number 1 and number 2 condition vehicles. We're the only classic car dealership in the country who services everything we sell. We document that work with an invoice. We also detail these vehicles to the highest level, and I would show the invoice in the photo gallery, and I would just go over what we did and how much we spent. In this particular situation, the service department is extremely busy at the moment. This car came from a gentleman who was a very well-rounded mechanic. He did an unbelievable job getting this vehicle in great running order. So we have not serviced it, but between now and when it's purchased, we will definitely do the service and just go through it, which we will document with an invoice. Just want to make sure I was clear on that. So let's get into a couple of the important factors about this car first. I'm going to read here and then I'm going to show you each award. Just again, you can go over the details on our website. You can see pictures of all these awards. So the first one that I want to mention is the Mustang Club of America, which I'm a member of. It was the Grand National Show in 2019. This car was awarded gold. These awards are all, again, included with the vehicle, but this is actually the award here that can be seen in our photo gallery. It comes in this beautiful case. It's actually this really nice crystal tall award here, and again, it was in Fredericksburg, Virginia, 2019, MCA Gold. That is a huge, huge deal. At the MCA events, again, Mustang Club of America, they judge these vehicles to the highest level, so to achieve a gold award, again, is a very, very big deal. The second thing is it actually achieved from the Shelby American Automotive Group, the Northeast Regional Meet. It was the Sponsor's Choice Award, which again was in 2021. That is also a really big deal. This is the award here, shows the dates and everything. Again, the SAC is what they refer to it as. Again, SAAC. This is a really big deal to get this award as well. 2021. As we move forward, Mustang Club of America, another Grand National Show. It awarded gold. Again, 2021. That is this particular award here. This was actually Mustang Club of America 45th anniversary. Again, it shows the dates, the celebration, and of course the gold listed here as well. A very, very big deal. So we have 2 MCA gold awards that are included with this vehicle. To put the icing on the cake, this vehicle went to the Boss Nationals. If you Google this is a whole separate thing. Very big deal, strictly Boss Mustangs. And this vehicle was awarded first place. And this is the award here. This was in Kansas. Again, 2021 Boss Nationals, first place, 1970 Boss 302. To have a vehicle that has those 4 awards that are all included in the world of judging in cars and things that are authentic and so forth, it is a huge, huge deal. So wanted to make sure I got that out of the way first. When we go into these Fords, the great thing is you can get what's called a Marti report. You order these from Marti Auto Works, which is what I did for this particular vehicle. I also was notified by Marti Auto Works after I placed the order that this vehicle did still have its original Ford invoice. Louis Epplinger is what they sometimes refer to it as on the outside world, but at Marti Auto Works it's called the invoice, the original invoice. And that is the original piece of paper that Ford actually supplied that was basically a version of the window sticker. So we do have that on order. It should be here within the next week or so. Once I get it, we will place it in our photo gallery. But more importantly, right now, we do have the Marti Auto Report here. They refer to it as the Deluxe Marti Report. So what it does is it just clearly shows this vehicle was built in Dearborn. It shows that it was a Mustang 2-door sports roof, 302 4-valve Boss V8 engine. It was actually built on April 21st, 1970. This vehicle was originally medium lime metallic, and it also had an ivy interior. I think most people would agree that color combination is not anywhere near as sexy as what you see here today in this video. I'll touch base on that in a minute. That was decided during the restoration to do a color change, and again they picked one of the most desirable color combinations of all time. It shows here that it also had a 4-speed wide ratio manual transmission, and it had the 3.5 conventional rear axle. The options that this vehicle came with from the factory were the F6015 belted raised white letter tires, also the shaker hood. That's a big deal in the Boss community, and it also had the AM 8-track stereo radio and a tachometer. So again, that's what the vehicle was when it was new. It's fully documented. It was originally shipped to the Garrett Motor Company in Hendersonville, North Carolina, and it was actually sold very shortly after it was released, which was on April 29th, 1970. When you go into these Boss numbers here, you will see that these cars are very rare, very limited production, and so forth. So the story goes with this particular car that it was a super, super nice rust-free exterior example of a Boss. It still retained its original motor and so forth. It was the perfect candidate for a restoration. So in 2010, after the car was completed, an appraisal was done here. I refer to it as a verification or certification from a gentleman named Douglas Monroe, who is a MCA Gold Card and SAAC Boss Judge. So an expert in the field. He did this whole write-up on the vehicle, basically saying that he verified all of the ID tags and so forth. He goes into saying it was a totally rust-free exterior, concourse quality repaint, so forth. He goes into all the options in the vehicle. He even makes note here of the engine. It says fully restored engine compartment, has the original serial numbered engine, which was freshly rebuilt. And then he goes into some of the parts that are authentic to the vehicle as well. So not very often do you get a letter like this. We love to do this when we get cars at MS Classic Cars. If I'm dealing with a Corvette as an example, we always go to Roy Siner, who was the judging chairman for many years from the NCRS. If we're dealing with a Camaro, Chevelle, or Nova, we deal with Jerry McNeish of Camaro High Performance. If we're looking at a Mopar, we deal with David Weiss and so forth. So we pretty much love to get our cars verified and certified. And when I was buying this car and saw this information here, it really put the icing on the cake. Of course, all the awards really backed up the car and the quality and what was done and so forth. So couldn't be any prouder of this car. Again, this is all included with the vehicle, with all of the awards. So touching base on the exterior. As I just rattled off there in that letter, and also from information that I've gathered, this was a rust-free exterior. So all of the sheet metal that's on this vehicle on the exterior is original to the car. That's, again, what has been said, so I'm just going by the information I've gathered. That does make a difference to a lot of people, that it has all of its original sheet metal. The body work on this car, as far as the body panel fitment, it's super, super straight. All the doors open and close beautifully. The shaker hood opens and closes beautifully. So does the rear deck lid. Cannot say enough about how beautiful the body work on this car is. Again, I had mentioned that it was a color change. They changed it to this color here, which is Calypso Coral, which is actually an orange. It kind of reminds me a little bit of GM's Hugger Orange. I will go on record and say, in my personal opinion, this is the most sexy color on a Boss 302, especially with all the black accents. Not only did they paint the car in this gorgeous color, which was a factory color in 1970, so it was definitely correct in that regard. But the quality of this paint job is absolutely magnificent. We detailed it at MS Classic Cars. The guys did a really nice job polishing it. It, again, looks absolutely awesome. Again, the black accents really pop on the vehicle. You can see that in all of our photos. From the information I've gathered, all of the glass in the vehicle is new tinted glass. It's all date coated. You will see within our pictures, there's all these little stickers, like on this front windshield here, on this back quarter glass, in the door jambs, in the engine compartment, the undercarriage, etc. Those are all to simulate the stickers that were put on the vehicle when it was rolling off the assembly line at Ford. They put them all in the correct spots. They even angled them, like the one on the windshield, exactly the way that it would have been angled for Ford. Again, they went above and beyond with this vehicle for judging purposes. I will note that even though the car was finished in 2010, and that's when that letter was done and so forth, it has been improved upon over all these years to get it to the highest level possible for judging. And again, all of these awards are from 2019 to 2021. This is a very, very fresh car. Although it was restored, 10, 11 years ago, it only has 300 miles, actually a little bit less than 300 miles since completion. It's been trailered, obviously, to all the shows, which took place in Pennsylvania, Kansas, and so forth. That was all done, with an enclosed trailer, taking it to the various shows and everything else. Getting into the actual wheels on the vehicle, it was added during the restoration, as I just stated on the Marti report. It did not originally have these wheels. These are actually an optional wheel. And just so I refer to them correctly, they're actually the Magnum 500 wheels. They look absolutely spectacular. It does have the correct Goodyear Polyglass GT F6015 tires that I had mentioned that were on the Marti report. I will also mention that the rear window slats and the rear spoiler were also added to the car during the restoration. Those were not factory options. However, as I mentioned earlier, the shaker hood is. So they really wanted to take advantage of making this car as sexy as they possibly could. I thought they made a great decision doing so. So once again, the exterior of this car is at the highest level. It is absolutely spectacular. Getting into the interior here, again, as I mentioned, was originally ivy. If you Google that, it's not the prettiest color interior, especially with the exterior color that it had. Some people might like it, but this is hands down, in my opinion, about as sexy as it gets when you marry this beautiful orange color here to this gorgeous, they refer to it as deluxe white interior with the black accents. It is absolutely stunning. So real quickly, just to get into it, the headliner is absolutely like new. All of the seatbelts are original seatbelts. They actually refurbished them. They took the old tags that were barely legible. They actually redid the tags, reproduction tags, applied them back to the seatbelts, again, for judging purposes. All the sun visors here are super stiff. They're plush. They've got this starting instruction piece that slid over the visor, again, for judging purposes. You'll see that in our photos. The dashboard is absolutely beautiful. The fit and finish is really second to none. All of the gauges are crystal clear. Everything is in great working order. It's got a rim blow steering wheel that works perfectly. It's super nice. All the door panels, again, the combination of the white and the black is absolutely stunning with all the wood trim. Even the clock that's over by the top of the glove box is in great working order. For the photos and for this video, there's no floor mats in this car. I will go on record and say that I did order a brand new set of Boss 302 carpeted floor mats. It says Boss 302 on them. They look really nice. I thought that would be a great addition. Once they arrive, we will put them in the car. They will be included. We also will probably take a picture of those floor mats and just sneak them into the photo gallery as well. So you could expect to see those pop up probably in the next week or so. The rest of this interior, again, is in beautiful condition. You really have to look at all the photos that we have of the vehicle. You can clearly see the attention to detail. From what I've gathered, the console is original to the car. That was restored. From what I've gathered, the shifter was original to the car. I guess it was re-chromed and so forth. I don't have any documentation to support the actual restoration with receipts and things like that. This car had very, very limited ownership history between when it was finished and today. I will also say that this vehicle has never been around the block. What I mean by that is it hasn't been to dealers, it hasn't been to auctions, it hasn't been really exposed to the world. This is the first time that the car is really in the limelight, so to speak, and we're super proud at MS Classic Cars to even have this vehicle in our possession. Getting into the trunk compartment in the back, you'll notice in our photos, it has all the correct stickers in the back. It was all highly restored. I do want to make a note here so I do not forget. It does have a very quality reproduced trunk mat, which is absolutely beautiful. It does have the original F78 Space Saver spare. It's got the inflation canister and the correct jack back there. The engine bay is beautifully detailed. Again, one of the best. Let these awards, the Boss Nationals 2021, they took first place. Let the judges, just basically back up what I'm saying here. I don't know if you could make an engine bay look any nicer than what you see here in this particular car. It is absolutely stunning. Again, you'll see all the stickers, all the paint marks. The vehicle, again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is powered by the original matching VIN engine. This is not a date-coded engine. It's not a over-the-counter warranty block or whatever the case might be, as many Bosses have, because these motors were, they were pounded, they were revved high. A lot of guys blew them up back in the day. They raced these cars and so forth. This particular car still retains its original motor. That's worth its weight in gold. Just to rattle off a few things, because I can't obviously memorize all of this, I just want to mention this is, again, coming from the letter that was done by the judge and everything else, that it retains correct Boss 302 equipment, such as the original shaker assembly with snorkel and heat shield, exhaust manifolds, aluminum valve covers, rev limiter, NOS Z-bar, auto light alternator, dual diaphragm distributor, pulleys, and complete smog equipment. All big stuff. The engine is actually cooled by the original radiator. It's a Recor deal where they redid the whole radiator. It has an NOS cap on it. The engine breathes through a Scott Fuller reproduction exhaust system that looks factory correct. It would be very similar to like a Gardner exhaust in Chevrolet, where they make these exhaust systems look exactly the way they were from the factory. The car has that. It also has a 4-speed manual transmission that shifts super smooth. The clutch in this car is super smooth. A new drive shaft, which is correct, was added. It has all the stripes on the drive shaft and everything else. You gotta see the pictures of the undercarriage of this car. It is absolutely spectacular. They also have an original complete drag pack oil cooler assembly, which was added to the vehicle with 391 rear end gears. You will notice that the floors are all the correct red oxide coloring, and you will notice in certain sections of the floor, more sort of toward the center where the tunnel is for the transmission, they used all the proper overspray that you would have seen at the factory. Again, paint marks, chalk marks, etc., etc. It's really second to none. So that pretty much concludes everything. You would obviously assume that everything in this vehicle has been restored or it's been replaced during the restoration. It's about as fresh and as new as it can get. This is definitely a car for a collector who's looking for one of the best examples in the world. So I'm going to wrap up this presentation here. I would ask, if you have not signed up for our VIP email blast, please visit our website, msclassiccars.com. That's the best way to follow us. I only collect number 1, number 2 condition vehicles that are at the highest level. We take great pride in that. We always have. We've never deviated from that. We're on all the social media networks, so please follow us on there as well. And we look forward to welcoming you to the group here, and hopefully we can do some business. Maybe it's going to be on this particular car here. So we thought what we would do today with this startup is we would do a cold start. For anybody who knows these cars, these can be very temperamental to start. And the best part of this car is we have not even serviced it yet. I want to give kudos to the gentleman that I purchased it from. He owned this car for many years. His name is Jim. Again, he was a mechanic, a diesel mechanic, and he actually did a really nice job dialing in this vehicle. So I'm going to do a cold start here and show you how nicely it starts cold. Most of the time we pull the vehicles outside, we start them, warm them up, bring them in, do the video, and we bump them so you can hear them run. But again, anytime you get a high compression motor, especially a Boss 302, and it starts relatively quickly at a cold start, it's just proof in the pudding. So let's go ahead and start it. I'm gonna go ahead and pump it a few times here. Hey, can't make that up. It's already running. Literally within seconds, cold start, the vehicle's running in the showroom, no word of a lie. It's just a great car that speaks great volume. We appreciate you watching. Rock and roll.